All right. I think, yeah, we back. Yep. I should have made sure I can hear myself on the last stream, but I'm gonna delete it later. But we're gonna do a little something different this time. My apologies. Give me a second. Just give me a second. Yeah, I'm back, man. I didn't know the sound wasn't working on that last one. I got to be a little bit careful next time. Just give me 1 second. Okay, before we get into this, we're going to cover some of this stuff real quick with Saudi Arabia. I'm going to screen share it real quick. We're going to go on this one first, right? This one's on the Financial Times as well. This one says Saudi oil attack highlights Middle East drone war. So this right here is a depiction of some of the stuff that they're using. It says Saudi Arabia knew it was vulnerable to attack by drones long before the attack on the oil facilities. Right? Hey, L, if you want to get on, let me know. Stay for stopping by, Rob. So it says long before the attack on Saudi Arabia oil facilities that knocked out half of its oil production, the kingdom knew it was vulnerable to assault from armed drones. Houthi rebels in neighboring Yemen have often used this new type of aerial weapon alongside missiles to target Saudi airports, desalination plants, and crew facilities in the past 18 months. So this is basically saying that they knew that, they were vulnerable to attacks and stuff like that. But obviously they didn't do anything about it. And now we are where we at. And this was by, I guess this was Helen Worrell in London and Andrew England and Ahmed Al Amaran and Ryder. So I guess it was by these individuals. Shout out to them for writing this article. Then we're going to go to the other article right here. This article right here depicts on how the UK had to apologize for illegal arms sales to Saudi Arabia. And the reason why they had to apologize to Saudi Arabia because these weapons are used on the ground in Yemen. All right, LFL player, here it come. So basically, if you read the article and stuff like that, it's basically going to tell you that, they had to apologize and stuff like that. They sold a whole bunch of weapons and stuff like that up over there. Well, not necessarily just weapons, but not necessarily weapons, but parts and stuff as well. I'm stuttering because I'm sending LFile player a link. So we got that. LFire player, just check the Gmail real quick, and I think you should have it. It says the UK government has been forced to apologize after breaking a court ruling banning it from granting license to export weapons and other military equipment to Saudi Arabia. Liz Truss, International Trade Secretary, said 2 inadvertent breaches had occurred of an undertaking given to the Court of Appeal in June that the government would not grant any new license for the export of arms or military equipment to Saudi Arabia for possible use in the conflict in Yemen. Yemen is in the grip of a civil war, pitting the government backed by Saudi Arabia against Houthi rebels. It has claimed the lives of thousands. The UK government in June suspended granting new export licenses after the court appeal ruling found its decision-making process were unlawful. In a letter to Graham Jones, chair of the Committee on Arms and Export Controls for the Commons, Ms. Truss said an investigation will be launched into the precise circumstances surrounding the issue of licenses. Right? And then it goes on to say one license identified by the department as being in breach of the ruling included I'm going to just say dollars because I forget what this is, $200 cooling fan for incorporated in an armored vehicle. The government has also estimated that various radio spars worth more than 260,000 had been shipped to troops deployed in Yemen's civil war. The license for the original order of 260 items of radio spars valued at $435 plus $1,000 had been issued in July. And the letters, Mistrust said the Department for International Trade was in. Hold up. What's up, L?
Yo, what up? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, just covering this stuff before I get into Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on again, too, man. Thanks for everybody who's in the chat, too. Like, fucking, we're cooking. Yeah, I'll let you cook what you talking about, though.
Last one was happening, man. So all this stuff just basically just shows me that, hey, man, they got busted in the act of doing this stuff, man. It wasn't no foul until other countries start stepping in and saying that, hey, there's something wrong with you selling, stuff up over there. And we know that you guys and they ain't supposed to be doing that. So now with that being said, the Houthis also said that there would be further attacks, not just on oil refineries and stuff like that. They're willing to retaliate against Saudi Arabia for backing Yemen in the civil war, and because the Yemen is a civil war over there, and Saudi Arabia over there up in the mix, so they got to get it too. And so if they can't stop an oil refinery from being mollywopped, what makes you think they can't stop a venue from getting mollywopped? You see what I'm saying? You can't stop against a suicide. There's no defending a suicide bomber. There's no defense against roadside bombs or improvised explosive devices. There's really no defense. There's only offense, which is taking it out. So, and then not only that, there's been members of the Royal Guard this year that have been killed in attacks at a royal palace. Gunmen rolled up and start blasting, and people laid down on the ground permanently. Not only that, there were 4 separate attacks at one of the international airports in Saudi Arabia this year, killing civilians, wounding civilians as well. I believe the count right now is over 40 civilians have been wounded at an international airport in Saudi Arabia. So they can't stop it. Yeah, that's the whole history lesson right there. Lost One says selling weapons is light compared to the things we have done. Yeah, that's just the start of it. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole history lesson, right? You could just do a simple Google search. Now we're going to get into Deontay Wilder, right? So the main thing with Deontay Wilder is Deontay Wilder versus public interest, and a lot of people out here have been exhibiting that there's a public interest in Deontay Wilder being the butt of a joke. There's a public interest being Deontay Wilder not having his stock as high as it should be. ESPN, Showtime, and everybody else is not giving Deontay Wilder his just due. World Boxing News is not giving his just due. You go on Twitter, everybody's making excuses on Tyson Fury and using Deontay Wilder's past fights as an excuse for Tyson Fury's last fight. But when you start thinking about it, all that is because of Tyson Fury's mouth. If it wasn't for Tyson Fury's mouth, then we wouldn't be in the situation. Tyson Fury is saying that he could beat people up with one hand tied behind his back. ESPN and all these other outlets out here saying that Tyson Fury is the best boxer. They also saying that Tyson Fury's exhibit great masterful footwork and ring generalship. That he's the then some people out here saying that, like Bob Arum saying that he's the best boxer since Muhammad Ali. So, and then when you go on Twitter and you start reading posts and stuff like that, it starts looking a little bit funny. And the reason why it starts looking a little bit funny, because if you actually look at it, this is the way I put it. First of all, the fight should have been stopped. If Otto Wallen was cut and he was losing like the way he was, the fight would have been stopped. If this was anybody else, the fight would have been stopped, especially where they had to fight at. The fight should have been stopped. They're one of the most strict, boxing commissions around between California and New York and everybody else. And you couldn't tell me that Tyson Fury could see. He said he couldn't see. You could see the blood in his eye. If you have blood in your eyes like the way he had blood in your eyes, you could not fucking see. And it showed during the fight. I saw 3 occasions where he was swinging that air. And you know why the reason why he was swinging that air? Because he could not fucking see out of one eye. That's the reason why. His cut man didn't do his job. Let me tell you something about that. We don't even know how good of a job his cut man did. That's the thing. We just saying the cut man did his job, did a great job because of the fight wasn't stopped. There's nothing you could have done for this. Yeah, you could have put the gauze up in there. Yeah, you could have put the Q-tip up in there. Yeah, you could have put a big ass glob of fucking Vaseline on it and stuff like that to prevent it. But at the end of the day, he could not fucking see. So he could get on TMZ. So the cut man could get on TMZ and say that Tyson Fury gave him a bonus, but that wasn't the reason why the fight was able to continue. Yeah, you're right, Lawson. I give you that one. The cut man did his job, but the fight still should have been stopped. It should have been stopped. The dude couldn't see. And then when you read this article right here is going to show you Tyson Fury needs plastic surgery, rematch delay, helpful to Deontay Wilder. How is this helpful to Deontay Wilder? Why would you even write an article saying it's helpful to Deontay Wilder? Right? Why would you even do that? Why would you even do that? Now let's read it. Deontay Wilder has been given a reprieve. So since a lot of people don't know what this word is, we just gonna do it like this. Wrong thing. Wrong one. What the oh. They making me do the whole damn thing. See, boxing scene is they are. Let's do it like this. This is what it means. Cancel or postpone the punishment of someone, especially someone condemned to death. Cancel the punishment. Cancel or postpone the punishment. So let's read again. Deontay Wilder has been given a cancel or postpone the punishment by rival Tyson Fury following a long delay to his rematch announcement for Louis King Kong Ortiz. What do you think about that, L Foul player? L, you there? Well, let's keep reading. So then it goes on to say Wilder has been facing a quick turnaround of 14 weeks for a signed return with Fury on February 22nd. The Bronze Bomber was originally set to battle Ortiz on November 9th, although November 23rd was then touted. Yeah, I know. I saw what he wrote. Oh, there you go. What do you think about what I just read? L. Just talk when you come back. I just clicked on your thing, so I should be able to hear you.
Could you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad, bro. Yeah, as far as the reprieve, I mean it's just another mode of like what pretty much every media outlet, all these boxing channels are doing, in which they try to gloss over like the obvious facts that Deontay Wilder is the one that is trying to make these fights and trying to unify, and you know, I think they it just can't be unsaid that these people like deal like with putting these stories out to casuals. Because I mean, like, why would Wilder need a reprieve from a dude that just got like whooped 12 rounds, like, or had a real tough fight 12 rounds at the very least, and just had surgery? I mean, why would Wilder need a reprieve from somebody who he's been trying to fight since they last fought, where that other person, in being Tyson Fury, looked for these light touches rather than fighting Wilder, who was right in front of him and ready to fight him with a good contract in front of him? It's just the same business as usual, like where these media outlets are like trying everything they could like to not give Wilder any credit, like going above and beyond. I wanted to touch on that other thing too, man. My bad, bro. Like
Go ahead.
about the with the other thing that I had one of the things that I think I mentioned it in the past to you when we spoke, like in the chat, but the this fight that's happening is actually in an open air, like it's an open air stadium. The stadium that's being built, if I remember correctly, they said it's an open air stadium because Saudi Arabia, and I was actually in Saudi Arabia too, like full disclosure. I was in Riyadh, which is like one of the big cities in Saudi Arabia, and Riyadh is actually close, not too far from where this stadium is being built. But at night it gets cool, so to have an open air stadium is not like a bad idea. And I think they have a racing track in that same area that they're gonna build or that's already built. That's same thing, open air. But
open air with drones.
So, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because if you look at like the terrorist, like the listings for like Saudi Arabia, like as far as terrorist threats, like drones is actually one of the first things that comes up. So I mean, this is a terrible idea, like all around them. I mean, it's still weird. Like honestly, Mike, like until it materializes, like the fight, I'm not gonna believe it happens until it like actually happens. Not like it's a very like even when Fury was fighting Wilder, like I had a little bit of that like in the back of my head, like this dude is just came off this like long like suspension or like hiatus. I don't know if he's gonna come back to fight Wilder, and like ultimately when it happened, like up until the day it happened, I still couldn't believe that the fight was gonna materialize. This Joshua versus Ruiz part 2, it's like 30 times more than like any doubts or apprehensions that I have like for the Wilder Fury fight, because this is some crazy shit, man. Like, and then like I'm pretty sure they didn't plan any of this around this whole like oil field strike that just happened. I mean, when I was in Saudi Arabia, it was nowhere near like the friction that's happening now. I mean, like to host it in even a friendly like Muslim country, I mean, like it just seems sketchy. Like you're talking like Turkey or I'm trying to think, like that's about it. Like I mean, I'm trying to think of other like not so dangerous like primary like Arab countries. But to have it in Saudi Arabia, man, I mean it's all kinds of sketchy. Like at least with other countries, you don't have the restrictions as far as women go and alcoholic beverages. No, Saudi Arabia, it just seems like it's all bad. Like
I just don't, like you said, I just don't see how you can have a an open arena when you have drone tags like attacks. Like what do? You put a whole bunch of jammers around there and you just like jam everything to make sure like radio devices can't frequencies don't work. Like what do? You know what I'm saying? Like you know what
hey Mike, have you attempted to look up like the progress of this stadium? Because I've tried and I haven't been able to see anything like
Nah, I don't think you're going to get that. And I think the reason why you're not going to get that, well, I don't think they should. I don't think they should post. I think they should post the progress of like where they're at, like as far as with words, but not with pictures, because then that just further helps out
Like a
the
terrorist thing?
Houthis. Yeah, they didn't just further help out the Houthis because if they do post that, then they can see where the main structures is, where
Yeah.
the load bearing pillars are and stuff like that, and they can actually see
I
what they actually could where
like
they
the
could
weak
cause more
points.
damage. Yeah, where the
Yeah.
weak point is at
No,
because you know
and I dig it too. Like I get that, but I'm saying like in the sense of just the random motherfucker just driving by and having a picture of it. Because I mean like um they had those reprehensions like with Freedom Tower here in New York, like when it was being built after 9/11, like because it was a few feet from the site of the World Trade Center. Um, but they couldn't stop the flow. I mean, like because any person passing by could have taken a picture, and you could still find pictures of every stage of like when that was being built, and it wasn't put out by like the people that were building it. It was just put out by like people. I mean, like I can't find dick like as far as like anything like to do with this stadium. Um, besides like anything like closely attributed to like this rematch between Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. And like I mean, like if it has, then that's like matchroom stuff. Like seemingly, it's like. So I mean, like I can't really believe a lot of that stuff. Like so, it's another component of like why I have a good reason to believe that this fight probably won't go down. Like I don't know, it just feels strange.
yeah, and Losman had a good point. He good thing to say. He said he basically said, let's see here. He said, have you guys ever heard of a stadium ever being attacked? And never heard of a stadium ever being attacked, but I heard of terrorists being attacked where the US government had to figure out a way how to land a big ass fucking airplane in there to take out fucking hostages. But
Yeah, the guy. There's another comment too. It says, "Real talk." 97214 said, "Y'all doing all this talk, but this N-word Wilder fighting an old man with high blood pressure. That old N-word, his only notable win."
Well, if you want to say it's his only notable win, okay, that's fine and dandy. But you could try to get on here and get my boil blended, but it ain't gonna work, my brother, or whoever you are.
Yeah, these are
but
old points, buddy.
but there's a lot of people out there in the professional athletic world that have high blood pressure, sickle cell anemia, have what is it? Chris Bosh, he played with debilitating lung issues until he couldn't play basketball anymore. You got all kind of injuries out there that professional athletes have to endure while they're playing, and hell, Grace Jones. I mean, she what's that one track runner? She had major foot issues to where she had to take beta blockers that was banned and stuff like that, and so she had to get off of them and just deal with the pain. There's a lot of people out there that's dealing with issues and stuff like that. But if you want to talk about man with high blood pressure, Deontay Wilder basically fought at 209 with one arm against Tyson Fury. But what you got to say about that? You know what I'm saying? You know, we could talk that talk and all that stuff, but do you understand really what we're talking about today? We're not talking about how great of a boxer Deontay Wilder is. Well, we're talking about Deontay Wilder versus public interest. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about people out there. See, even Lennox Lewis said it. See, it's kind of even Lennox Lewis said it when he was going back and forth with AJ, because everybody was making it seem that he was attacking him. Everybody was making it seem like it was a Lennox Lewis versus AJ thing when it wasn't. It never was a Lennox Lewis versus AJ or AJ versus Lennox Lewis thing. Everybody around it was making it something that it wasn't. And so now what you got is you got a grown ass man that knows who how the game is played, is telling you that, hey, look, I never once disrespected him. I would just give him my opinion. People are asking him questions about what Anthony Joshua should do. People are asking him questions about what Deontay Wilder should do, which he's done the same. They both got critiqued. They offered Lennox Lewis's opinion of being it because he's a great boxer. So how can you take it? How can you take that away? How can you take that? How can you take that away? You can't. You can sit up over. People can sit up over here and they can run their mouth and stuff like that. Young Merv the Cut Man, what's happening, baby? They could run their mouth and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know what I see when I go on social media? I see everybody against Deontay Wilder. I see a lot of accounts don't even know. I see a lot of people out there don't even know what they're talking about. I see a lot of people out there that just talking and spilling their guts out over social media. You could talk about how bad Deontay Wilder is, but you can't talk about how bad it looks for Matchroom Boxing to be doing business with a country that beheads kids. I was reading a thing to where a dude was arrested at 10 years old. Sorry, the kid was arrested for something that he did at 10 years old. He was arrested at the age of 13 and later on beheaded and few public display. And they're still beheading people. They killed the journalist. They killed a damn journalist, to where everybody is saying, including the UK, is saying that, hey, as far as the evidence and everything that we got, it was the Saudi government that did it. So, you know, you can say whatever you want. How about you bash Edward Hearn for doing stuff like that? Last one said, if it was that easy, we would see this the sort of thing all the time. No one is bombing this fight. Look, last one. Just because you've never seen it, don't mean it's gonna happen. There's always got to be a first time. There's always got to be a first time, and there's always a first time for everything. And like I said, when I was reading that article, the Saudi government knew that the oil refinery was vulnerable to drone attacks, to missile attacks. And you know what they did? They did nothing because they couldn't do nothing. That's what happened. Let's read some other one. Last one also said, it's not that easy, but the dudes has been. See, a lot of people think that terrorists are dumb. They've been perfecting their craft for hundreds of years. They've been perfecting their craft. It's like basically, you know, jungle warfare. You know what I'm saying? All the things that you probably don't think they'll do. That Real Talk 97 dude said, y'all doing all this talking, but this dude Wilder fighting an old man with high blood pressure. You said it again. Okay, whatever. Last one said, I read that. Last one said, high blood pressure or not, he would have got Wilder out of there if it wasn't for the ref. Ortiz was good. Nah, the ref had nothing to do with it. And you got to understand is that Wilder would have got Ortiz out of there when he knocked him down the first time if it wasn't for the bail. Are you following me? When you fight in New York, even the ref stopped the fight to see if that's the case. How come nobody complained about the ref stopping the fight? The doctor stopping the fight and then wiping the blood all out of Tyson Fury's eye, giving him 10 extra seconds and sight, and letting the fight continue. The ref literally saw that this motherfucker had a good amount of blood in his eye, which indicates that he cannot see. You have blood in your eye, you cannot see. How about you cut your finger, put blood in your eye, blink a few times, and see if you can fucking see at home? You can't fucking not. Been there, done that. Last one said, huge blood pressure or not. I read that. Young Merv, the Cutman Fed said, salute, man. What's happening, baby? Real Talk 97 said, keep it 1,000. Wilder, a clout chaser. The dude whole career has been losing rounds to bums until he knocked them out. The dude overrated, trash all. Motherfuckers need a reality check. It don't matter. See, the thing about it is that people are all fixated on a boxer looking marvelous. They're all fixated on a boxer. How would I say? Looking like Tyson Fury, looking like Floyd Mayweather. Everybody can't do that. Deontay Wilder's niche is knocking you smooth the fuck out, face down, ass the fuck up, because that's the way we like to fuck, and that's what you don't understand. That's what you don't understand.
I mean, and AJ doesn't look like that. Tyson Fury doesn't look like that. Like neither one of these dudes are like boxing majestically, or like, I mean, if anybody did look like that, sort of, it's been Tyson Fury, and he just went teetered. Life or death with the bum. I mean, a guy who could have gotten him out of there at several points. And Tyson Fury got several breaks in that fight too. Like, to look at that stupid cut, like, if it was being looked at so much, they probably like really should have considered stopping the fight. Which, I mean, I'm not taking a stance like whether they shouldn't have, but he got like tons of breaks. I mean, if you're complaining about Wilder getting a so-called 48-second break in the state with the most stringent,
it wasn't even 10 seconds.
Supposedly, I mean, like, but New York, it has the most stringent standards when it comes to like the doctors checking in like between rounds if like somebody got wobbled. I mean, like, if that's the case, Wilder got like, I mean, Fury got like 3 minutes worth of time put together for all those breaks he was taking when they were looking at that cut and putting extra Vaseline. And so don't come with that bullshit, man.
Yeah,
like,
too much Vaseline. How many times the fight had to be stopped for Vaseline?
Yeah, there was like a big glob that fell on the floor at one point. Like,
that dude knew that shit couldn't be on there.
Yeah.
They knew it was gonna give him time.
Smart. I mean, I don't even blame the cut, man. That's like smart moves. Like, like put the big globs in there after you already got warned.
Until you get a point.
Yeah. No, they would. I don't even.
I never seen it. I never seen somebody get a point taken away for extra grease.
Me neither.
I mean, extra Vaseline.
I don't think he would have. I don't think the ref would have done it in that case. Like, just because he don't want to, maybe he don't want to be caught up in the controversy. But literally, like, the round after they told him not to put a big glob on, he did it again. And like, right when he got up, like, to start the round, like,
it fell
right into the middle. Yeah. So
that like, motherfucker slipping to that hole. Young Merv the Cutbear said, "Clout chaser, rounds." Motherfucker, how about fights? How many of those he lost? See what I'm saying? He ain't lost none. You goddamn right, young Merv the Cutman. He ain't lost none. Real Talk 90 said in Africa they eat people, yet Ali fought there. No, in some countries they eat people, but they eat people. But the whole thing with Africa that Ali knew was that other countries like that's not from the continent of Africa was coming in there fucking it up. That's the reason why a lot of that shit was happening up over there.
Peace, Verona.
There wouldn't be as many problems in Africa right now if it wasn't for the UK or France or Sweden or the US. It wouldn't be all them fucking problems. This dude is off the chain. Next, but then again, we're talking about Edward Hearn. We're not talking about Ali. Real Talk 97, the heavyweight division is trash in comparison to the other eras. Y'all dudes know that shit deep down. And I mean, we know it ain't the same. Nobody see, the thing about it is we don't hate on AJ. The whole thing
and I mean, and honestly, like, I mean, like, this era that we're in right now is, I mean, we're still seeing whether it could reach the era of, like, the era which Tyson was fighting. Everybody gives all the credit to the world for Tyson now. When Tyson was fighting, people were hating on him just as much, if not more, than they were with Wilder, saying he was a one-punch dude, like, and Wilder's putting dudes like to sleep better than Tyson was. Yep. I mean, like, in 10 years, y'all gonna be dick riding like Wilder. All these people that were talking shit, like, now are gonna be telling their kids, "Oh, I watched that man fight." Like, like give him his praises while he's around, man. Stop being a hater, bro.
Yeah, and then he's saying nobody's safe. Nobody's saying that Deontay Wilder can't lose. What I'm saying is that it's different. You can't fight Deontay Wilder like you fight everybody else, and that show with Tyson Fury versus Otto Wallen. You can't fight. You got to respect Deontay Wilder's power. That's the reason why most of Deontay Wilder's shots, punches. I'm not even talking about power punches. Most of his punches were choreographed. Tyson Fury could see it from a mile away. And every time Tyson Fury saw that right hand coming, what did he do? Did he stand there? No. He backed the fuck up. Got out of dodge. Everybody who faced Deontay Wilder has to respect his power. Everybody that didn't respect his power, ask Spilka what happened to him because he didn't respect Deontay Wilder's one-punch knockout. Ask what happened to him. He got knocked smooth the fuck out. Now he's GB Boxing. What's happening, man? The favorite side always gets biased treatment from officials across the sport. Yeah, I mean, not only that, it's the aspect. Remember when Jack Reese was saying that how if that was Deontay Wilder, he would have caught the fight because he thought he was losing. He would have stopped the fight if that was Deontay Wilder that got up in the 12th round. I seriously think that if Otto Wallen was if Otto Wallen got hit like that because he was losing the fight, they would have stopped the fight. Point blank, period. But there is some truth to that, my brother. Yeah, you might got that one right, bro. I don't know, man. It's looking kind of shifty with that shit. Osman said, "Cut, man." But if they were capable, they would have wasted it on a boxing event. They would be hitting other stuff. No, see, the thing about it is they've been hitting palaces. They've been hitting government official buildings. They've been hitting hotels. They've been hitting spots. And now you got an event with people from the UK who have been giving weapons to Saudi Arabia. From UK been giving weapons to Saudi Arabia for the war effort in Yemen, and the Houthis are in Yemen, northern Yemen. What are you gonna do? You're gonna do the best thing for you. You're gonna make your presence be known, and then maybe face the wrath of the UK coming up over there bombing and stuff like that and getting up over there. But then guess what? Then y'all over the UK, y'all thinking y'all about to go to a stadium and have some fun and stuff like that with all the Muslims up over there. Like the article over here. ISIL stages a series of attacks in Paris. You got in 2018, Islamic State supported urged football stadium attacks in the UK. Then you're gonna start getting that. Then things ain't gonna start looking so safe. Then you're gonna be like, oh, I guess it is possible. How much does it cost for a drone?
And in Paris, didn't they have
that can carry 10 to 20 pounds?
They had that mass shooting in that continent. I thought it was the UK, but I think it was Paris. I looked it up.
Yeah, they had a mass shooting in Paris.
No, and those countries have shit like pretty locked down. Saudi Arabia, being that I've been in Saudi Arabia, I got a surgery in Saudi Arabia and everything. It's not like locked down like that. I mean, yeah, you can't get away with certain things because the royal family has rules like on lockdown, but they don't have like that. That country's pretty wild, bro. It's like driving through like the Vegas desert. It's all like desert until you get to like Vegas, and then it's not like built up like that.
Yeah, but that hot ass sun make them highways smooth as butter.
Yeah, but I mean it's people think that it's just because they have like oil money over there that the whole thing is just hard body built up. Like that shit looks like rugged, dude. Like, it's not like where they have an eye on everything like they do in the UK or I mean, if those countries like the UK, they have things like on lockdown. In New York, they have things locked down, and we're not safe from like a terrorist attack here in New York or in the UK. Let alone in Saudi Arabia. Come on.
Yep.
I mean, they just had a fucking drone. I mean, they just attacked the oil field. Damn it! Like or how many days ago? Like they're gonna have a boxing event on lockdown because Eddie Hearn's throwing it. Like, kidding me?
Yeah, they don't care about. They don't care.
Yeah, and that real talk dude said that people weren't saying that Mike Tyson was a one punch like. Did you live through that era? I like Tyson was one of my first favorite boxers, bro. Like people had mad shit to say about Mike Tyson, including that he was just a knockout artist. Like, you kidding? Like, what do you know? Like, you born in '97, probably.
Yeah, he was. He says all them dudes is trash, all overrated. This generation of heavyweights. You know what? You can say whatever you want, dude. But that's not really you can't really say that everybody's trash, but that's okay.
And just my bad, bro. And just speaking on Tyson alone, like one of the biggest wins that Tyson had was against Bruno. Bruno was trash, bro. Like, like they were saying like AJ looks better than Bruno. Bruno was like, I mean, Bruno could punch hard, but like Bruno wasn't good like that, man. Like Bruno was kind of trash.
Yeah, and he lasted. JB Boxer said, like Stewart said, Fury and Wilder would be the dominant heavyweights after the Klitschko era. Both are unique. Yeah, they both are unique, but they both could be stopped. But the whole thing about it is, I don't see 100% Fury beating Wilder. I don't. You can't hide from that right hand. You can't. It's going to land, and in this time, you just better hope that it don't land as many times as it more times than it did in the first fight. That's the thing. Now, Young Murph, the Cutman, said, "Oh, like the Boston Marathon, some random concert in Vegas. Come on, Lost One. Yeah, exactly. Lost One. Those were kids. No, those weren't kids. Those was grown ass men. Those was grown ups. The concert in Vegas, that was a grown ass fucking man. You can't rent a hotel room as a kid. He was bucking from the hotel room from like a block or two away. Down, like on a 12-something floor like that. Come on, man. Them wasn't kids. I can't. Rona Zorro. Wilder has been the top heavyweight for the last 5 years and running. People, for some reason, just label all of AJ's opponents as legit and Wilder's opponents as bums. Shake my head. Yeah, and I did a spreadsheet at work, but I keep forgetting to send it to myself. But for quite some time, people have been saying that Wilder hasn't fought anybody within the top 10. He has. In the top 10 of what? Of a sanctioned body? Of a sanctioned body that he's part of, the WBC? Or are you talking about the top 10 overall? Because before Deontay Wilder was ranked in the top 10 of overall heavyweights, some of those people he beat were already up there. Deontay Wilder was ranked high before Anthony Joshua was ranked high on the top 10 heavyweights. Because the thing about it is the transition came in over because he ended up beating Klitschko, and that was it. But then, and that was the only thing that people could really say besides him having 3 belts. See, I keep trying to tell people, those belts does not put you at pound for pound. Those belts, in my opinion, the belts does not put you at pound for pound, in my opinion. The belts does not put you does not necessarily should rank you at number 1 overall in your weight class. And the reason why I'm saying that is until Wilder, Fury, and AJ fight each other, it's up for discussion. It's an opinion. It's not a fact. You got people out there that know about boxing. You got people out there that don't know about boxing, giving you an opinion on who's pound for pound and who's top number 1 in their weight division. When you go on ESPN, it shows you sometimes it shows you who voted for what, for who in each weight division. It shows you who's what. Who do you think Bradley's going to vote for? Who do you think Ward is going to vote for? And the list goes on and on. All those people on ESPN, Dick Wright and Tyson Fury, who do you think they're going to vote for? They're not going to vote for Deontay Wilder. Why would they do that when the narrative is already put out there and then their name will be put out on blast on Front Street and they be going against the grain? Lost One said, y'all need more than 2 kids to bomb a stadium. It wasn't 2 kids, but it wasn't 2 kids, bro. It was a kid and it was a grown-ass dude with the Boston Marathon. Young Merv, the Cutman, said that matters. I think you missed the point, bro. Yeah, and like you said, yeah, thank you. Thanks, Merv. Because it don't matter if they was kids or not. Imagine if they was grown-ups, they probably would have got away or they probably would have killed more. Lost One said, I'm just saying it don't make sense for them to hit a boxing event. It does make sense. It's a public spectacle with people over there that have money inside that's from Saudi Arabia. Maybe some people within their parliament or in their government. Maybe a couple of key fingers. Maybe a couple of movie stars. maybe a couple of people out there that news anchors. That makes sense. It's a shock and awe. Why do you think they call them terrorists? Because when they do the things that they do, when they do these suicide bombs and stuff like that, kill a whole bunch of people, that affects people's minds and makes them react differently than going out when they go out fucking side. That's the reason why. Shock and awe.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna tear your name up again, but go ahead. Go ahead, L.
yeah, and on that point too, one of the hottest zones, or probably the hottest zone as far as like have potential for like these kind of actions. Yemen. Yemen was the one that like supposedly was behind this oil field thing. So I mean, like, it's not just Saudi Arabia that you got to factor as far as being a hotbed, which it kind of is a hotbed on its own. But then you factor Yemen, which is probably the hotbed of that kind of activity, and then you got rebels fighting. You know, it's not safe. The whole like one kid, or it could be anybody, bro. You could I mean, it could be a drone, a kid, a dog. You know, however you want to do it, man. Like, you know, it's not like if one of these things is gonna happen and like a couple people get injured, like a few fights before the main event, and they're gonna say, oh, like, well, let's just carry on and like keep going, like, or like if 2 or 3 people die, like, oh, that wasn't that bad, so let's just show must go on, like, you know. I mean, that's like a best case scenario with an attack like of that ilk. I mean, worst case scenario, I mean, like, you know, what one of the fighters, you know, or several people, you know. I mean, I don't even want to bring boxing into the equation, but it just, you know, like, what's gonna happen then? Like, I mean, like, if that, and you know, but it's just dumb talk. But as far as the resume thing, though, too, man, if you say Wilder's resume is trash, you also have to say Fury's resume is more trash. You also have to say AJ's resume is also trash, or a little bit better trash, and that's debatable. I mean, like, everybody's like resume is, there's not that many people to fight. Takam was probably at the level of a Spilka when Wilder fought him, if not worse, because AJ already had like unified, like, you know, got was already a champion. Like, I mean, to fight attack him, like, it's like pitiful.
Yeah, it
Wilder,
was.
like,
And they already had him
Wilder's
on
being,
deck for a replacement too. They already had
yeah,
him on deck as a
Wilder's being,
replacement just in case before all that shit. Ain't that about a bitch?
and like these people that AJ fought were avoiding Wilder. I mean, Povetkin avoided Wilder. Joseph Parker avoided Wilder. Like, Dillian White was just wolfing at Wilder, like avoiding other people that Wilder fought. I mean, like, you know, it's not like not a huge cast of characters or like pickings of these people that were calling for Wilder. There's only been one person calling for Wilder.
Well, Povetkin
Like,
could have fought Wilder. This is what happened with Povetkin. Povetkin tried to sue Wilder because they didn't renegotiate for the fight after he was found not guilty for meldonium, but the jury did say the motherfucker did take it. They voted. They casted a vote that motherfucker did take it after it was banned. But during the court case, they end up ruling that Povetkin was innocent. And Povetkin tried to sue Deontay Wilder to try to make the Deontay Wilder fight, but lost. And then after that, you don't hear nothing from Povetkin talking about Wilder.
You don't hear that from anybody calling Wilder.
They weren't suing to have the fight. They were suing for damages. You see what I'm saying? They weren't suing to get the Deontay Wilder fight at that point. They were suing for money. Let me read some of these comments because they getting up. They getting up here. Young Merv the Cut Man said nothing makes sense until it does, bro. That's the point of terror. Exactly. Damn right. Rivas was losing on every scorecard. I'm sorry, Roro Noah, Zorro. He said Joanne Duapas and Jarrell Washington KO'd Hellenius cold, while Dillian White went all 12 rounds with the one-handed Hellenius. See? Exactly. You said you want to play that game. You got somebody that got some ammo for you. Noah Zero Rivas was losing on every scorecard before a lucky 12-round KO versus Jennings. Ortiz dominated every round with Jennings and KO'd him in 7. But people will push the idea of Rivas being better than Ortiz. Yeah, they will. And the reason why they do that is because it suits their narrative that Deontay Wilder is a bum. You know what I'm saying? JB Boxing Saudi could be Joshua's first blood sacrifice. Ain't that about a bitch? Damn, that's fucking that ain't woo shit. God damn. Shit. God damn. First blood sacrifice. God damn. Real Talk 97. Yeah, but who he fighting? Fam, Spilka trash. You know what? Ain't nobody been the same once Deontay Wilder knocked him out. Noah Zoro, people hyped up Konaki. Areola arguably beat him in the war. Wilder beat Areola with a broken hand, torn bicep, and a motorcycle burn all on the same arm. People don't want to say that. They want to bring that up. They don't want to bring that up. That boy's a warrior. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to bring that up. Only thing they want to bring up is that Deontay Wilder happens according to their ideology sucks. Young Murph the Cutman said, hey, give Big Baby a concussion with a damn helmet and 16-ounce gloves. Yeah, he did. Talking about it was dehydrated. No, you wasn't. All that fucking water weight you got on you, bitch. All that water you got on your titties, you wasn't dehydrated. Last one said, I'm just hating on Wilder. By the way, I don't like what the ref did to Parker on the AJ fight. Well, you know, it's called home field advantage, baby. Roro Noah Zoro 2015 remains Tavern. KO's Joshua to me. Wilder made Tavern punch drunk. He made him punch drunk because remember, Wilder had him out of there if it wasn't for the bell. He had him sliding on his legs and everything in that first fight. And then the bell ring. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what happened to Bermain Stavern after that. I mean, he had no cardio, no nothing. He just went downhill. I don't know. Real Talk 97, AJ bum too. Okay, that's nice to know. Okay, that's nice to know. Roro Noah Zoro side note, Michael Hunter eventually KO'd and the reason amateurs. Well, that's the amateurs, but I don't really going to the amateurs with the pros. You're dealing with grown men now. You're dealing with grown men problems that they perfected their craft and stuff like that. So I'm not going to touch that. Nosman said, man, those Paris attacks were insane. Yeah, they was. I'm glad they got. I hope they got them hoes. Worst thing was the truck. Yeah, the truck that going down the street. That's called an enhancer. Create order out of chaos. Yeah. Well, it's not create order out of chaos. It's just create chaos. And then hope they can create some order because they ain't going to get that. Not with that bullshit. JB Boxing, Al Heyman is behind the oil attacks. Well, that's the next thing motherfuckers going to say. He didn't want to fight over there, so he sent his own drones over. Yeah, that's what they're going to say next. Young Merv the Cutman, bro, the damn video game had him KOing you with one uppercut, bro. Damn. Don't shit. God damn. I ain't playing that video game. That's a cheat code. Last one I meant kids with Boston Marathon. I think one of them was an adult. The other one was a kid. Last one said a dog laugh aloud. Last one said if 3 people died, I can see Eddie saying the show must go on. Damn, that's fucked up. But yeah, he might do it. Last one said if they die, they die. Last one said they paid the ticket. If they die, they die. Show must go on. Stop crying, bitch. Last one said Povetkin didn't avoid him. I just told you what it was. If Povetkin was cleared to fight, yes, but that was like a month later. But then what you have to understand is that it went to the courts to decide whether or not he was cleared to fight. So that was months later that he was officially cleared to fight. You see what I'm saying? Because it went from the WBC doing their own thing until WBC getting a secondary people to do their own thing, investigation and stuff like that, to where they say, hey, we're gonna go to court and we're gonna let the courts decide this. You see what I'm saying? Lost One said, if you look into the Povetkin is actually right. No, Lost One, I read the shit. I'm the one who sent it to Fanon. I'm the one who sent it to WBF. I read the shit. See what I'm saying? I read it. I know what actually happened. They couldn't sue to get a fight. They could sue for damages. If they really wanted to fight, they ain't been saying shit. I read it. Roro Noah Zoro said, let me explain the Povetkin incident. I already explained it. Next. Lost One said, tons of Russian athletes had the same issue. Yeah, they had the same issue. So this is what happened. So a lot of people was popping for meldonium. And so they said, how can we ban it in December? And then in January, people are still going to ban for it. So what they did was they usually with PEDs, there is no levels. It's either in your system or it's not in your system. And then what they're going to do is to see that if you took this, could this make insignificant amount pop up in your system? That's what they do, which is basically find out, get the doctors to decide whether or not how it has gotten your system or how it could get in your system from taking certain supplements that are illegal or eating certain foods that are within the confines of ethics with boxing and not eating no Mexican beef. So what they did was they lowered it for a bit and said between this time and this time, if you're taking it, you can only have X amount in your system. But what happened was the juries ruled that the motherfucker did indeed ingested meldonium after January. You see what I'm saying? Lost One said, sorry, I'm spamming. Ronoa Zoro said Povetkin used meldonium. Meldonium was a legal substance. It was banned 6 to 8 months prior to the fight. I just told you what it was. Then he goes to say the reason Povetkin doesn't get a pass is because 6 months later, Povetkin was ordered to fight Stavern and took a new steroid. Yep. Rono Zoro, 2 failed steroid tests in a year for 2 separate steroids. Povetkin guilty. Meldonium is not. I don't think meldonium is not a steroid. I believe. Young Merv the Cutman. Courts never awarded fights or belts. I don't know why y'all doing that. I'm not saying that. I said they wasn't going to award the fight. Young Merv the Cutman. I said they were suing for damages for the fight not happening. And see what I'm saying, my brother? They were suing for damages for the fight not happening. Because I read the court case. That's what they were trying to do. And that's the reason why that's the reason why it went on for like forever. For like a year and some change, maybe 2. Because it was defamation, and then it was that. Then it was a couple of back and forth appeals. Because I'm telling you, I read it. Yeah, he tested for a new separate steroid, but that didn't matter because he was cleared for the meldonium, which I believe is not a steroid. Oh, you talking about the other dude? Yeah, I don't know what he's talking. I don't know what they talking about out there, young Mother Cup man. I don't think meldonium is a steroid, dude. I think meldonium is just an endurance. It's something. You back?
Yeah, my bad, bro.
It's all good. And basically, it the more you take, the more it hides in your blood system. And while you're taking it, it doesn't come out in your piss. While you stop taking it, it starts coming out in your piss. And then what happened? How they said he was taking it after January is because of this. He passed the piss test. He passed 2 piss tests, but failed 1. That basically means is you stop taking it. You stop taking it, and then you start taking it again. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why. Young Murphy come in and said, no, not you. They think people can sue for a belt or a fight and they ain't happy. No, you can't. You're right. You can't. You can't sue for a belt. That's why they have these sanctioning bodies have independent investigations for it. That's why they do it that way, so it won't seem biased. So if they do rule for something, then they can't be looking like, oh, you did this and you did that. And Roro Noah Zorro said, tell be exact, he tested positive for Osterin versus Tavern and was suspended for 1 year. Hey, man. Hey, you test pop, you pop. I mean, look at look at Dillian White. He popped. And look at him. Look at Dillian White. He popped, but everybody give him the benefit of the doubt. Nobody, how many people gave? I'm the only one that gave Louis King Kong Ortiz the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, at least he had a prescription. At least he had a script. The only thing that King Kong Ortiz didn't do was when you read the piss test VADA form, it tells you to list that shit. His shit was an administration error. You know what Povetkin said he was doing in the court case? Povetkin didn't even know what the shit he was taking. Povetkin didn't even know what the shit he was taking. You know what he was doing? He was saying his trainer would load the pills up in one of those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday things, and he'll just fucking take them. He don't even know what he was putting in his fucking body. He don't even know what he was putting in his body. Who the fuck? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if I'm a professional fighter. I'm paying somebody cash money. I want to know. I want to know what's exactly my body. I might want to pay somebody to do research on this shit.
Yeah, and in the case of Ortiz too, a lot of these sanctioning bodies, they'll let you off the hook if you're represented by a promoter or a promoter of note. Luis Ortiz had none of that going on when he got yammed up, and he had gotten caught for what was supposed to be a masking agent. But then you got Big Baby Miller, and he's going right back into the fray 6 months after a second suspension for PD. And Dillian White is rumored to be trying to get on the undercard of the AJ Ruiz Part 2 fight, which is happening in December.
You know what I think they're doing that? You know why I think they're doing that? Because it ain't got nothing to do with UCAD.
Well, that's the thing. But if you think about it, though, this is already like a smoking gun with both these fighters. That got bagged up twice with the performance enhancing drugs or banned substances, and they're right back into the fray 6 months later because they're backed by a promoter. I mean, so you can't really run with the fact that Luis Ortiz is a supposed PD abuser, and not mention these dudes that get bagged up twice or more for doing it, and Dillian White and Big Baby Miller. I mean, that's hypocritical.
Yeah, it is, and a lot of the thing about it is lots of blood pressure medication can be considered masking agents. That's what a lot of people don't understand, and also a lot of substances out there that people do have. How would you say prescriptions for can be used as masking agents. That's what a lot of people don't understand. People think that it's just everything got to be right down the middle. It ain't all the way right down the middle with a lot of this stuff. What in my opinion, what needs to happen is if you pop, and you should have to face the consequences of that. But that's not happening in today's boxing. What's happening in today's boxing is that since it's not big as what it was a long time ago, they kind of getting it, and they can't figure out a way how to get all these other guys that's not ranked in these sanctioned bodies up to par. they try to keep these guys around. That's the reason why ain't nobody trying to give nobody a life ban. Because then guess what? You give somebody a life ban, then what? Where the money? What's up with the money? The money ain't going. Their money is going to be funny. It's always some type of interest of the organization. There's always an interest for promoters. There's always an interest for a fighter. There's always some gray area to where somebody does something that's against the grain because it benefits them and don't benefit the other. That's what it looks like it's been a going rate in boxing, and it's showing. Edward Hearn was on the mic, all cozy with Big Baby Miller, talking about the same shit he been saying all this time. Why would I put my fighter up in there with this person when the money ain't right up over there? When I can just go up over here and get more money? Because my job as a promoter is my fighter's best interest, which is money. And to him, but some fighters, it's legacy. You see what I'm saying? Some fighters, their bottom line means more than money. Some fighters would turn down 40 and make 20 million. If they knew that they were in control of everything, they had to worry about the bullshit. Because I would. Now, if I didn't have millions of dollars, then I'd probably take the 40. But if I already have millions of dollars and I'm living comfortably, you can't really tell me nothing. Look at Deontay Wilder. How you gonna tell the dude something when he's comfortable with the way he is living? When he's seeing that he will have money for a long time. If he keeps up with his game plan, if he keeps up with his mindset. He don't need to go out there and get an alleged $80 or $100 million for 3 fights on DAZN, when DAZN can't even give them a cost sheet. When you don't even know what it means is to sign a deal with somebody. You don't even know what all the shit that you're gonna have to do. That maybe not be your best interest or part of your bottom line as a man. Because as a man, you have to be willing to do this. You have to be able to know you have to name your price on what you're willing to do and what you're willing not to do. Because when you start doing this, because when you name your price for X amount of dollars and he's doing stuff that you ain't willing really, you don't want to do, you ain't nothing but a slave. So why would Deontay Wilder take a contract like that and be a slave to somebody else, when he could be a slave to himself and his family and conduct business accordingly and not have to worry about nothing? I don't understand it. Let's read some of these. JB Boxer says, so running up to the Joshua fight, Eddie didn't organize any drug testing for any of the Miller fights. Well, I thought he said he was. I thought on paper that he was. It's not on paper, but in those interviews, I thought he said he was paying out of pocket for Miller's drug testing. But the whole thing about it, I don't think Miller was a part of it. Drug testing, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm not mistaken, it took him a while to get with Vada before the fight. And then that's when they end up catching that ass. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of fun. JB Boxing, man, it's GB Boxing. It's kind of funny, bro. Something don't sound right, man. Something don't sound right about these piss tests. And then look, so Anthony Joshua, somebody put out there, Sporting Icons, he had a video talk about how Anthony Joshua wasn't in the is not no longer in WBC rankings anymore. Well, first of all, he probably didn't request to put himself there. Probably was honorary put there. Second and third of and first of all, that was the first of all. Second of all, why would you put yourself in the WBC, right? and at the same time, go and fight Andrew Ruiz go and fight Andrew Ruiz, but pay WBC money to be in their sanctioned body. You see what I'm saying? Why would you do that? Why would you pay them 5-10% for nothing? Because if you win, you definitely ain't gonna be in the WBC, but you would have to pay them. So why would you even want to be there? That is the real answer. Why would you want to be there? Because at the end of the day, even if he was to lose again, WBC is gonna put him back in the top 10. He's not gonna drop to the top 15 because of the people he beat. And that's and that's my opinion on it. It might be fact, but I don't know. But that's my opinion on it. If you look at the WBC rankings, you know what I'm saying? So, need to be worried about, Edward Hart needs to be worried about Dillian White not being ranked in any of these sanctioned bodies. That's what he needs to be worried about. And then besides the WBC, but he's suspended in the WBC. That's what people need to be worried about. I know some people out there think that Dillian White is still ranked in the WBO or WBA. Well, how about you go to WBO or WBA website and look on there and get off BoxRec, because BoxRec has a disclosure that they might not be quite up to date. You know what I'm saying? So back to Deontay Wilder versus the public interest. I've been saying this from day one, man. I don't think a lot of these, a lot of these YouTubers getting paid. A lot of the people in the comment sections, they are paid to get over there and comment, hit that like button, the view count. As you know, that people are still paying for subscribers on YouTube. But some states in America, like New York, is cutting down on that. They're actually trying to enact laws on that because it is stealing. It is wire fraud. That I believe in that. I believe in when you start looking at all these YouTube, these Twitter accounts around YouTube. You know what I'm saying? One guy comes out there and say, what did he say? If you're going to, he says something about Deontay Wilder in his past fights with Tyson Fury versus Otto Wallin. See, first of all, if Otto Wallin had athleticism, if Otto Wallin was a pure athlete, basketball, football, stuff like that, he would have been better off in that fight. He would have been better off in that fight. The dude's punches was slow. His inside game wasn't that, besides that left hook, was all trash. Yeah, he was hurting Fury because Fury's head was already fucked up probably from that the second round. Then he didn't want to get hit in that eye again. Then he was running from it. He didn't want to get smacked. He didn't want to get popped again and have the whole fight lost, and lose the fight. So he changed his game plan, but didn't do what he was supposed to do from the trainer's instructions. He panicked, in my opinion. But ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody talking about how the fight should have been stopped. If you can believe that Fury beat Wilder, how come you can't believe that having blood in your eyes means you can't see, means the fight should have been stopped? Or if the cut was all the way down to the bone, means that the fight should have been stopped? How come you can't do that? Because the reason why ain't nobody talking about it like that, like they should, is because it makes sense that everything is against Wilder. It just makes sense. Everybody worried about what Wilder doing. He's probably going to be guest starring in movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. And the only thing that AJ got is what? Underwear commercials. Or the Lucas Zaid or whatever. Or the little sports water bottle he carry. Or Under Armour with the tight ass motherfucking shirts and shit on. Every time you look at an article with damn near majority of the time you see an article with Anthony Joshua, we got his fucking shirt off. You see what I'm saying? Now, I didn't like when Deontay Wilder put them fake ass extensions in his hair with the cornrows and shit. I knew it was fake as fuck with all that goddamn Beijing and shit on his goddamn face, on his hairline. Nigga, that's makeup. That's makeup for some shit that you ain't got. I didn't like that. But at least with Wilder, he ain't phony in the ring. At least with Wilder, he ain't phony outside of the ring. At least he ain't over there acting like Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua over there acting like he ain't even his own man. Anthony Joshua acting like he don't want to be in the driver's seat. He don't want to worry about the business of boxing. Even though he calls himself a professional. Professional at what? Motherfucker, you are a gladiator. Ain't no such thing as a professional gladiator. Ain't no such thing of having a public personality as a gladiator. It ain't. You know, people can say whatever they want to, man. What you got to say over there, L? No, you there. I heard your ass.
Nah, I'm here, bro. I was just cracking up some of the stuff you were saying, bro. When you said the Beijing.
Yeah. Yeah, like goddamn makeup on.
Nah, you touched on a couple different things though, man. But I don't know with it. I mean, like that's one of the like disappointing things about boxing, man. It's that like kind of like what I touched on earlier. It's that like a lot of the stuff with the media, with YouTube writers, ESPN. It's all like fucking it's all like to more like casual fans, and I don't know, man. Like I always, I a lot of times I think a lot of that stuff has to like it's like race based in large part. Like, cause I mean, you look at these ESPN fights, like on the little bottom ticker, like they always show like announcements for either Triple G, Canelo, Manny Pacquiao, and now they're starting to do Lomachenko. I mean, like with Wilder, I mean, they won't render like the slightest bit of credit in his direction. I mean, like, you know, I remember when Mayweather was at 40 wins, like, I mean, he was getting like hated on for sure, but like, you know, they like try to suppress Wilder like way over the top, man. Like, you know, you're watching history unfold. I mean, just with the knockout rate and with his win streak, and like dudes be just hating on the man, bro. Like, and I always wonder why, bro. I mean, I think I know why, but I think it's because of like the stances he takes as it pertains to his peeps. But it's just like disappointing though, man. Like, you know, like, and it disappointing more like from somebody who loves boxing, because like now you hear assholes bring up the stupidest shit, like, you know, when it comes to trying to big up Tyson Fury, like to spite Wilder. When it comes to trying to like knock like Wilder's resume, like to knock Wilder, like it's just stupid shit, man. Like a lot of times it just gets like almost tiresome, disappointing. Yeah, bro.
I mean, but it is. I mean, my stance, my whole thing is like this. You know, you got these people out here that always talk about, you know, boxing and how boxing is this, boxing is that, blah blah blah, woo doo woo. But what about building the sport of boxing?
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia does not help build the sport of boxing like you think it's going to build the sport of boxing. A lot of boxing fans are not even going to be able to go up over there and watch the match, let alone might even conflict with their how would you say day to day uh their day to day. They might not be able to watch the fight. You know what I'm saying? And the way I put it is like this. When I watch a lot of things that go on, a lot of people are worried about the wrong things. What people need to start doing is help build the sport of boxing. And the reason why I say that is because by putting down Deontay Wilder, it doesn't necessarily help the sport of boxing, but talking about him does as well. But ESPN not getting behind him like they should is not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? You fought over there. You could big up both of these fighters, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. You put all that money into Tyson Fury, and I've been saying from day one, you're never going to get that money back. I've been saying from day one that it's stupid because look who he's fighting, and it was a bad deal. But, and all in all, at the end of the day, it just shows you that some way, some shape, form, that there is an agenda. And it might and it might not, and the agenda might not be against Deontay Wilder, but it's for sure not in the direction of Deontay Wilder. If you know what I'm saying, put it like this. I've been saying from day one that Tyson Fury is a liar. I don't think the motherfucker ever had depression. I don't think the motherfucker ever, well, he probably had cocaine and drugs and stuff like that, but he never had depression because the depression thing was like a woe is me. Let's have a pity party. Let's lessen the blow on this guy. Let's not go in all the way because that's all he was doing was pushing out depression this, depression that, blah, 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 over and over again. Sob.
Andy Ruiz had depression, bro. And in that same argument, man, Andy Ruiz had like legit depression, like from fucking not being promoted right and like getting jerked on his only championship like attempt. I mean, like, why don't you make documentaries about his fucking depression, or ESPN cover his like rise to the top after being down, like, or whatnot, man. But that's they're trying to push that agenda though. Yo, man, I gotta dip off though, but I gotta get ready to work for work.
All right, bro. Have a good day at work.
Thanks for letting me on again, man.
You know it, baby.
All right, bro. Have a good night, everybody in the chat, and you too, Mike.
Yeah, but I'm about to get off in a minute too. Just about to say a few words.
All right, peace.
Yeah, he never had depression, man. And then I don't think there's anything. Even if he did have depression, had an alcohol problem and stuff like that, everything is good in moderation. Maybe he made a few mistakes and stuff like that. Maybe the reason why he fell in depression and stuff like that. Maybe he can manage his alcohol and stuff like that. I'm not going to dig. I'm not going to, if you want to go out there, have a few beers, have a few beers. But remember, at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder is next. You said it. Deontay Wilder is next. So, you don't need no tune-ups for no fucked up eyelid. You can see if you broke something, then yeah, maybe a tune-up. You didn't break nothing. Allegedly. Who knows? You probably did break something in your face. Just didn't say nothing. But, the dude never had depression, man. Never. You don't have depression and you don't have alcoholism and drug addiction, and then you come back to drinking alcohol, drinking beers openly. Who knows? Maybe he was just talking shit. Maybe you just wanted to go out there and have a good time after a good night at the office. After getting beat up. I mean, well, not beat up, but after getting his eyelid beat up. Maybe that's all he wanted to do. I don't see nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not gonna be too judgmental. I don't know what it means to have an addiction to alcohol or drugs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let the man slide on that. What I'm not gonna let him slide on is talking shit about all these other boxers, calling them bums and shit. When you just had to fight for your fucking life in the ring. I'm not gonna let that slide. Some other people would let that slide, but I'm not. I'm for sure ain't gonna let that slide. And the reason why I'm not gonna let it slide because nobody else would let it slide. If that was Deontay Wilder, people would be all up in arms. You see what I'm saying? If that was Deontay Wilder, people would be all up on his ass, saying how he didn't do this, he didn't do that, blah blah woo woo woo. He almost got beat by a bum, and this, then the third. Look at him. He got his eye cut, blah blah woo woo woo. Tyson Fury don't even get that. He don't even get that. Everybody want to put Deontay Wilder's past fights as an example on, as an excuse on why Tyson Fury didn't have a good performance. Tyson Fury's always been susceptible. Damn near, look at even SSS Cunningham put him on his ass. And Cunningham was just starting to turn up. And then guess what Tyson Fury did? The same thing that he did with fucking Otto Wallen. Put his weight on him. Use his forearms. Trying to wear him out. Tried to do the whole thing where he tried to do it, but it didn't work. He tried to put his forearm down his throat and just come in with that right hook. He tried to, but he couldn't. Because he didn't have enough fucking gas. He was gassed. He was weak. You know what I'm saying? So people can get on everybody else's bandwagon. They can condemn Deontay Wilder for saying he's gonna kill somebody. Talk about Deontay Wilder because he got skinny legs. Talk about Deontay Wilder because of his right arm knockout power. Talk about Deontay Wilder because he knocks everybody out. You can do that all you want to. But at the end of the day, real boxing fans know what it is. It's Ruiz, Wilder, Tyson Fury, and AJ. Those are the guys in the heavyweight division. Those are the guys that everybody wants to see in the ring fight each other. Nothing less, nothing more. Everybody out here talk about Deontay Wilder. Everybody out here talking about Andrew Ruiz. A lot of people out here talking about fucking Tyson Fury didn't even have his fucking sombrero on right. He had it backwards coming out for the ring entrance. Talking about he represent Mexico backwards. On that note, I'm gonna get up out of here because I am hungry, baby. So on that note, shout outs to the LDBC and everybody stay sucker free.